Who am I to stand in the way of your fantasy?
Oh, hello. It's Sunday night. It's Blasted or Stash It.
Oh!
You just missed that little tidbit there, but maybe if you catch our podcast, you'll be able to hear all the little shenanigans that happens before the show and after the show. So before we get started, make sure you give us a thumbs up. Make sure you share the video. Leave a comment down below. We'd like to hear from you guys if you guys watching it after we go live. So with that, we'll go ahead and jump into the books for this week. Was it January 6th, right? Booked for that week. So lots of books this week. I went over budget. I think Joe said he did too. So
You mean February 6th?
what did I say? January?
Yep.
I meant February. Thank you.
Sure
So go ahead there, Drew. Your first book for the evening.
All right, let's go ahead and start it off right. Uncanny X-Men, number 11. What?
That's not right.
What do you mean it's not right?
We're not starting it off right. Go ahead.
No, we're starting it off right. How do you
anything,
want me to start it off?
anything in the last couple of years with X-Men in the name is not starting it off right.
Oh, you're wrong. This is my pick of the week, my friend, and it has nothing to do with this beautiful Rob Liefeld misshapen Wolverine cover, which I had to buy. It was so hilarious. I think the whole point of these covers at this point is that Rob Liefeld is so fucking terrible that it's just like I have to buy it. I can't believe they're selling it. I can't believe they're selling this. So yeah, I had to buy it. You got what we got? Reavers here. Jeez, look at these guys. Oh, look at them. And we got this is Skrull cover, Lee and Hugh. Oh man, that's good stuff. Also picked up the 1 in 25. You know what? This is the pick of the week, guys. And I'll tell you why. It drew tears from this stone. It made me bleed. It was so good. This was amazing. Cyclops, he's back and he's pissed off. And you know what? He's got every right to be. The world isn't the way he left it. It's even worse. And he finally has a moment where he calls out the world and he says, "Hey, any mutants that are left, come and join me. This is where I will be. And I will be at where this began." Right? And he goes to where the X-Men disappeared. He's sitting there and he's waiting. And man, Purifiers show up. Reavers show up. Everybody shows up to kill Cyclops because he's all alone. But guess what? He's not alone. Snick, snick. Here comes the blood. Here comes the gore. Here comes some of the greatest splash pages that I've seen in a comic in a very long time. Really great action in this book. Plus, we get the backup story of the version from Logan's point of view is the second story. And the third story covers the end of Blindfold, which is... It hit me a lot harder than I expected it to. This is a great book, man. The art was on point. The story was great. And I can't say enough things about it, man. That is the pick of the week. Nothing else comes close this week. Sorry, guys. Pick of the week.
Mike, you read Uncanny this week?
I did, and I agree with you. It was awesome. Great Cyclops stuff. Great fucking Wolverine stuff. It's a big book, too. Big and thick. Just the way I like it. $8, and yeah, it was a stash.
Big and thick. That's how Mike likes it.
Big and thick.
I think you guys are the only two that read that book this week. I don't know if I should. We should slow down. We haven't even pumped. Whoa! Wait a minute, Joe's flashing that Liefeld cover. Go ahead there, Joe.
Yeah, I read it too. First off, this is a ridiculous cover. What makes this cover even funnier is his forearms. He's got Popeye forearms. That's hilarious. Finally, an Uncanny X-Men story I can actually read and enjoy. Thank you. Thank you, writers. This was great. This is classic X-Men. You got Wolverine, Cyclops dropping bodies left and right. You got the Avengers decide to show up and be the moral authority in something, which I don't know why they felt they had to, but they shut that down with a call to arms that turned into a bloodbath. How awesome is that? The entire book is dealing through various perspectives of the same story at different times and how it all relates. It was kind of like watching a more serious episode of Snatch than it was anything else, where the different things are going on, but it's all seamed around one plot point. It was really cool. Yes, the death of Blindfold. Drew hit that one on the head. That was kind of ridiculously hard. Wow. But hey, good story. Great stuff going on in there. Thank you to the writers of this. I love you.
Man, before we move on to the next book, I just want to go ahead and just address the last page of the first story where Cyclops says Logan. Logan says Slim. Silence. All right, now that we're all cut up, we got stuff to do. That's awesome. That's really all there needs to be. These guys are not friends. They are family and they are colleagues in many, many ways. They are not friends. They've had reasons to hate each other over the years, but the common respect between them is what binds the X-Men together and what will bring them together as one family post-schism. And I think that we're going to get a really great story leading up to that, man. I can't wait.
Moving on to Paul, one of your books this week.
Let's do Gunhawks #1. This was one of my co-picks of the week. This book was fucking awesome. I love a good Western, and this is a great one. It's super bloody, lots of action, compelling story. Marvel needs to keep doing these Silver Golden Age throwback things because for the most part, they've been pretty damn good, and this one was really good. This is big old stash.
Joe, I know you love a good Western.
Yes, I do. And man, the artwork in this, so clean, so good. Very relevant story into it, to history as well, talking about Pancho Villa and his raiders. And we got some mysticism behind it too. So you still got some of that good comic book goodness in it, but you got a great spaghetti Western type story with it, with the stranger that reforms himself, becomes the sheriff, wants to be the hero, but then they give it that twist at the end where he's got to sacrifice himself. And oh man, how powerful was that? Because he has to deal with the demons of his past. Oh man, gunslingers try to be good. Come to find out they're just violent in the end. And this reads beautifully into that story. What a great story. Loved it, stashing it. And it almost became my pick of the week.
Yeah, I got the Young Guns cover. Of course, Black Panther is nowhere in there, so I don't know why they put Black Panther. Huh?
I don't know why it was there either, but
that was kind of weird. Yeah, the whole story with him, and he's trying to move forward with his life. He said he was a raider. He moved into town, became a sheriff, met this woman. He's planning on moving on with her, creating a new life, leaving this town, and then he finds out all the women from the village or whatever he raided before were coming to take revenge, and he realized that like I said, he needs to sacrifice himself in order to save everybody in town, including his wife or soon-to-be wife. And I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, I was kind of confused at the end, like, did he sacrifice himself, or are they kind of coming to a mutual agreement? But it seemed like he's just saying, hey, if I give up myself, the rest of the town be safe. And that's it. They go walking off in a big bloody mess because they're both been shot, and they got shot themselves and each other in an alleyway. So definitely good stuff. I think it was Stash too. Although I don't, again, why there's Black Panther on the cover, or just the big word to say Black Panther. I don't understand that.
To get idiots like you to buy the cover.
Well, it was. I thought this was a better cover than the other one.
Yeah, the Scrolls one sucked.
So this one was better.
Hey guys, we should probably take a second to shout out the chat. We haven't done that yet.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
Grandpa,
go ahead.
You want to shout out the chat?
Can Grandpa do
What
it?
are we doing?
You don't have to. Sorry, fuck those guys.
Okay.
No, shout out to the chat, guys. Everybody hanging out in the chat. Funk Off, Misexplained. You guys have been in here since the beginning, which wasn't that long ago. Got 98% of the Comic Corps hanging out. Bueller's in here, as well as Chad. Seawood just stopped in. There's this Midwest comic book guy hanging out as well. Who knows what he's doing here? My nephew Double S hanging out in the chat as well. Shout out to CR's Comics to Toys as well. Thanks for stopping by, guys. We're having a good old time. Bartley's Nerd Cave just hopped in as well. So we were all having fun. We were all talking comic books. Go ahead, Huey, back to hosting the show.
Joe, your next book. Your first book.
Oh man, everybody brought up some really good books. So let's talk about some garbage so we can make fun of it and laugh, and hopefully the writers and illustrators will cry and go home and never do comic books again. That would be awesome. Where's that garbage book at? Okay, here we go. Let's talk about Iron Man number 8. First off, great cover. Oh my God, what a great cover. Such a shame you couldn't write a story to stick in there to save your ass. This was just a garbage story. And you can make the argument, oh, you didn't read the previous issue, or blah, blah, blah. Well, I did. I got them online, read the last 3 issues of it, all the way back up to where they tricked me with the variant cover that looked like a venomized type cover, and there was nothing venom in it. And then you gave me this bull crap story. This is a garbage story. So whoever got their writing license needs it revoked and stopped. I mean, even the grammar in it didn't make sense. Like, I don't know who's proofreading this stuff, but it was just, it's bad. So bad. But I got it because I'm an idiot for covers and I'm a sucker. And I'll pay $5 for some decent art, apparently.
Drew, you have it. Did you say you read it this week?
No, I didn't read it yet. I haven't been reading it regularly. Slots Iron Man isn't something that super interests me. He's kind of been building a world and not so much telling a story. And I'm kind of waiting for something to happen. But maybe we'll see.
Okay.
I did not read it this week, but that's close to being my my cover of the week there. That Iron Man on the Rocks is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
Beautiful cover. No
I
doubt.
almost picked that up. Mike, what are you doing? What are you watching over there? You didn't read any books this week. You're watching something.
I am not watching anything. I'm watching Drew on the my laptop here.
Oh, okay.
Watching
Hell yeah.
Chat.
Is
How
it
am I
one
doing?
of them dirty videos?
What?
Is it one of them dirty videos?
Yes.
Well,
It
it's
is.
still the same question stands, Mike. How am I doing?
You're doing fine.
All right.
You look good.
Just fine.
You look good.
I aim for exceptional. So if I'm not meeting that mark, let me know. I'll go back to the lab and try something new.
You look like a sexual Tyrannosaurus.
Jesus. That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Good. Good deal.
Does that mean he's sitting there going like this with little arms?
Little arms. That's why he's on that grinder all the time. Right?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, Mike. You have your first book.
Let's go with Avengers number 14. So this is the whole vampire war bullshit. We get a look at the Shadow Colonel and his Legion of the Unliving, who have attacked Dracula's castle, and it's on fire, and Dracula's missing. They're looking for him. We get Blade in this, the newest Avenger, fucking doing what he does best, killing fucking vampires. All the other Avengers are taking on vampires, looking for answers about this vampire civil war. Shadow Colonel turns himself in. Shit's going down with Ghost Rider, and the book ends with actually Dracula, who has now lost everything, seeking refuge with the Winter Guard, and I thought this was fucking amazing. This is actually my pick of the week for right now. I got a whole stack of books I haven't read yet, but I thought this was amazing. So,
Yeah. Drew, you read that as well. Look, we got a few new people in the
I
chat.
did. I thought it was
comics and Biggie
really,
Shack.
really good. I was really excited also to pick up this wraparound cover that I thought was absolutely delicious. Look at that.
Oh, I didn't see
Yeah.
that one.
That's good stuff. That's a 1 in 25.
Oh, okay. That's why I didn't see it.
It's okay. Maybe one day your comic shop will love you as much as my comic shop loves me.
No,
Probably
my
not.
comic
I'm
shops love
way
me.
more lovable. Yeah, dude, I love this. This is great. Loving Avengers. Aaron's doing a great job with it. Can't wait for the War of the Realms. That stuff's all going to tie together. It's all going to be great. Yeah, vampires. All right, cool. Let's do it.
Okay. Nobody else read that this week. Go
I
on
did.
to. You did. Why do I not have you down?
It's like when I say things, you just don't listen.
I'm sorry. I'll put myself in a corner. You go talk about that book.
Hey, nobody puts a baby in a corner.
As
Okay.
far as the books I've read this week,
hey.
this was a great story. Love the way this story went. We got Colonel Shadow and his team. We got somebody that's actually comparable to Blade. Also, Blade, one word, nunchucks. I mean, really? That was awesome. Slicing and dicing through vampires. It was a great splash page with that as well. And like seriously, I went with the regular cover because I wasn't sure how I'd feel about this. And now I wish I would have gotten a better cover for it. But I mean, you just got all kinds of deliciousness in here. You got this weird ghost rider in a car, who I'm familiar with him a little bit. Yeah. Never really got into it, but he's kind of becoming kind of cool now too. Tons of cliffhangers in here, a lot of unsaid questions, definitely something to keep you reading. Seriously, if you haven't gotten it, go back and get it. And then we got Dracula asking for political asylum. I mean, that's kind of a weird situation, but I'll go with it. Let's do this. Let's see where this takes us. It's awesome.
Okay, before I move on, anybody else read that? I don't want to forget somebody else here.
I did.
You talked about it. That was your book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but don't forget it.
Don't forget it. Okay, my first book. This is definitely not as good as Conan, but it's in that same universe. And I'm really hoping maybe Marvel might. I don't know if did Marvel have the rights to Red Sonja? I think they did at one time. But I did pick up 2 covers. I picked up the Linsner cover. I always like myself some Linsner, and then the Cho cover. I talked to my wife about these. I was showing her these covers, and she was saying, like, look at this one. She kind of looked badass, kind of a mean warrior. This one, she kind of looks like she's sashaying down the runway, So she goes, I know Cho's one of your favorites.
I mean, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, why not? Oh, by the way, these are those covers. These are those the Max Supplies or whatever they were. Those bags.
Them Bueller bags.
Bueller bags. Yep. So in this story, Red Sonja's she's escaping and she's trying to go across the other. Her horse is about dead. She's being chased by a few other guys. Horse ends up going down. She attacks, kills a couple of them, but makes it back into her home village. All of a sudden, they're like, hey, you're our leader now. Here, you're our leader. So we come to find out the village is actually trying to be taken over by somebody else, and they're supposed to submit and give in to all their whims. And she has this big letter of all the stuff that they're supposed to be giving away and from her village. She ends up sending her own letter back with a skull full of shit. I thought that was kind of cool. It wasn't as good as Conan. I think I'd pick up issue 2 to kind of see where it goes. I might pick up that first story arc. But Red Sonja, it was a stash. It was a soft stash for me. Joe, you read a little Red Sonja.
Yes, I did. And I got that beautiful cover right there. Anytime you get Red Sonja with some skulls in the background, that's just awesome. All right. So this first, when I started going through it, started making me angry because it read just like every single Conan story ever. And I was starting to get a little upset. And then it quickly separated itself from the regular Conan type storytelling and immediately got into some ridiculousness with some funny in it. And the absolutely greatest part is the Emperor's trying to take over this town, and everybody knows it's a poor town. There's nothing in it, but this guy's kind of conquest happy right now. So he's going to go take this place over, and he knows there's nothing there. And she knows there's nothing there, and the people know there's nothing there. And I think the average joke, and I'm sorry for the editing, but the average joke is the only thing they had there is horse shit. So what does she do? She takes a skull, fills it with horse shit, sends it back to the Emperor, and says, "Here, you can have it." Like that was just epically awesome. So yeah, I like the way that it kind of tricked me with this. It's Conan's having to run away from somebody. Conan has to fight somebody. Only this time, ta-da! It's Red Sonja. And then immediately, boom, it just changed that entire tempo and definitely uplifted the story a lot, really picked me up. And so, yeah, I'm going to be hanging on for the first arc as long as that kind of goodness keeps happening in Red Sonja.
Back to Drew.
Yeah, I didn't read Red Sonja, but checking in on the chat, a lot of names in here that I haven't seen in a while or I haven't seen before. Biggie Shack hanging out in the chat. Make sure you guys go and sub him up. Also had Kingpen Comics as well. Hopped in the chat. Sub him up as well. Jockyo running his yapper in there. Got some good stuff going on there. He likes when Dracula is in the Marvel Comics. I can't disagree with you, buddy. Fantastic stuff there. Funk Off wants to know, is that a baby pop or is he high? Turns out both. And yeah, back to the books. Exile State just hopped in. So what's going on, Exile?
Hey, you're up with your next book.
About? Let's talk about Daredevil. Daredevil #1.
Daredevil.
He's a devil. He dares, and this book dares to be amazing.
Great
Stuff.
There he goes.
Wait, me again?
Now you're fine now.
Don't say there I go then.
Well, you did go. Did he not go? Did his mic all jack up? Yeah. But you're good. Go ahead.
Oh, I don't know. Daredevil, it was good, man. I liked it. Huey threw me off my rhythm, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. The ending was great.
Oh, come on.
And the art was stellar. I dug it, man. Daredevil #1, definitely a stash. Excited for this new run of Daredevil.
Joe read this. Yes, Joe. I remembered you this time. Go ahead.
Of course, my wife is really liking these Scotty Young variants. So that will last about 6 months in my house before I got to sell it. And then, of course, I went with this variant right here as well. Loving this artwork in this. Loving the artwork inside of it. But honestly, we have a beginning story. That's really much all we have here. Some low-level criminals. Daredevil needs to get better. Something did kind of confuse me about it, and it's always been a theme in Daredevil. But he actually mentions it in this one where he talked about the story of Jesus pushing out the chargers in the church with a whip and kicking them out. And Daredevil's talking about his issues with everything that he's doing. Well, immediately my question is if you're acting like Jesus, then why are you in confession? That's kind of not the point of that. Maybe he's looking for consultation. I don't know, but I know the religious theme of Daredevil has always been something there, and I have no problem with that whatsoever. Just the consistency of it's always been kind of weird. But other than that, it was an okay story. Let's see where it goes. Like I said, I've never had a problem when Daredevil gets a little dry. It's like one of the first ones that I'll drop. Because when it goes dry for a long time. Like it's a few issues deep, and it just takes forever for the story to kick off. So I'll give it another shot. Like I said, once it starts going dry and it gets a little weird, I'll drop it. So a soft stash for right now. I'll give it 3 issues.
I'm surprised Paul didn't pick this book up.
Oh, I have it. I just haven't read it yet.
Yeah, you read all that Man of Fear, that miniseries that was this ended too. I figured you would have been all over this. Yeah, I thought this was pretty good. I have not read that miniseries. I have it. I just need to get caught up on it. I don't think you really need to read that miniseries to kind of jump into here. I mean, if you know Daredevil, he is going through some stuff, but I don't think you really need a backstory to really figure out what's going on with it. He's hooking up with some chick at the bar, and he asks what time it is, and she's like, dude, trying to make fun of him, and she realizes he's blind. Then it keeps going back and forth. It goes to modern, and then it goes back to when he was a kid. It talks about, he's talking to the priest, saying, yeah, I did break into that kid's house, but it was a steal. Get the cards back for a friend. He felt he got ripped off. So there's always been some kind of just there for him. The reasoning, lawful reasoning why, or justice reason why he did it. But I thought this was pretty good. I definitely will be picking up issue 2, and again, this is probably one I will follow through the first arc, and then reevaluate at that point. I did like that page. That should have been a cover right there. Check out that splash page there, right in the middle of the book. I did like at the end where they have the 2 different pages where it kind of shows what the panels look like and then what Daredevil sees. I thought that was kind of an interesting take. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a separate story or if that's just a couple page preview of the next issue or not. But I thought that was kind of interesting. But definitely it's a stash for me. Luska Pocan Joe, you're up. Paul, you hear me?
Oh, me? I thought you said Pocan.
No, Paul.
Let's do Conan #3 since we did Red Sonja. And hell yeah, this is still amazing stuff. I've always loved Conan, and these have been awesome. Great story, great art, lots of violence. At one point, it starts off, they're getting ready to hang Conan for being a thief, and the hanging tree breaks the limb off, and he takes the chain with the limb on it and starts braining people with it. You know, that's the kind of thing Conan does. And then you get to the point where they're ready to kill him, and the guy lifts the axe over his head. He says, you try to kill me, you're going to die. And right then, bolt of lightning comes down and fries the son of a bitch, and Conan goes, who wants to pick up the axe now? And there were no takers. And just when you think he's away because the townspeople let him go and everything, you find out he's still in this shit. So this is awesome. This is good Conan stuff. If you like Conan, you're going to like this. If you don't like Conan, you probably won't. But it's a stash for me.
Joe?
Oh, yeah. Great story, great artwork in it. You know, it's typical Conan. You know, a lot of action, not a lot of heavy dialogue or thought to it. He pretty much tells you right up bat what's going to end up happening. And like he said, he's going to brain you. I am happy that this issue has finally got everything kind of caught up to where now we're back into the present story and we can kind of follow that storyline a little bit. Because that's what I'm really curious about. So, yeah, I'm kind of excited to move forward with this. Not that there was anything wrong with the story. I've liked them all, but I just didn't think they were relevant to the story that they were currently trying to tell. They were backfeeding a little too much into the other storylines. And that's fine. As long as they pick it up and they don't ruin it. And hopefully this Crom thing, Crom, the god, that does not care about his people, nor do his people care about him. Hopefully that becomes something a little bit more relevant in here, because it's something that's always been hinted on in Conan movies and old comic books, but they never really kind of explained why they even bother following this guy. So, or this god, I should say. So I kind of want to get a little bit of that in there, especially with this blood god and everything happening. I don't know. Let's see what happens. I think it's going to be cool. And like I said, I'll keep it for an arc until, something better comes along.
Conan, What is Good in Life? This freaking book, dude. This is an awesome book. I actually love this book. When they're bringing Conan up, he's only like 17. That's what they say he's in this book. He's just a young kid. Did you guys read that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure if you guys did. Maybe I read something wrong. But they go up there, go to hang him, and they're not used to hanging these big, muscle-bound guys. They need to breaking the limb off the tree, and they're like, oh, no, now you've, defaced the tree, and we're going to have an extra execution. We're going to definitely kill you. But this was good stuff, dude. I actually love this. When that priest goes, like Paul was saying, the priest brings the axe up in there to go to chop him and just gets fried by the lightning. That was just flat out awesome. Who knows if they're going to continue with the current story, if they're going to do the back story and then a little bit of the current story. Who knows what they're going to do with that? But this is still pretty damn good stuff. It's a stash. I think it's probably my stash of the week if I'm looking through my books. Yeah, it is stash of the week for me. And Joe's next with your book.
Would you go ahead and do a quick shout out to the chat room? We just had a ton of people just start walking back up in here.
That'd be Drew or Mike. Mike hasn't said much.
I'm on it, guys. I'm on it. Our Fred Beyond the Blast Doors just came in. Dave, what's going on? That guy does the best Star Wars content on YouTube. If you're looking for Star Wars content, check out Beyond the Blast Doors. Make sure you sub them up. Everybody in the chat already knows about them because, they're doing things right. Comic Girl Ava's in the chat. What's up, Ava? Loving her content as well. Be sure you check her out. Let's see who else popped in here recently. I don't think anybody else popped in recently that we haven't talked about yet. Me and Exile State's in there chopping it up. Discovery Bay as well. Channel, it's all you guys, man. Lots of good conversation going on. That's what we like to see.
Okay.
All right. My next book is
Aggressively Relaxing is in the chat as well. Sorry, Joey. I didn't want to cut you off there, but
right. So my next book is going to be Immortal Hulk, number 13. Man, can they write a bad story for this? Can they make it weird? I don't think so. I really like the fact that they kind of kept the narration down on this one a little bit and focused more on the story. Thought that was really great. Not that I minded the narration in it, but a lot of that stuff is really kind of deep. Sometimes doesn't really belong in a comic book, but I'm glad they addressed it. So what did we find out in this book? We found out gamma rays are science, magic, and basically just all the above. And I thought that was really great. And as a note for all you listeners out there that I know read the book, in it makes a reference towards a book called The Brothers Kaminsky. Kamirzevo. This is by Federic Kamiji. He's a Russian writer, essay, philosopher, famous for having a problem with utilitarianism and utopias. Most of his books, in case you don't know him, maybe you might have read his book in high school. If you read Crime and Punishment, it's the same writer. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Always look that kind of stuff up whenever they reference that kind of stuff in a book. So yeah, I really like it. It kind of fit with this guy's writing. I mean, it's dealing with this whole what is hell? How does hell affect different people or different religions? And it stays away from all the religious aspects of it and just focuses on the Hulk and his transformation back to being a huge Hulk. And we get some really great dialogue with Puck and the Absorbing Man, and man, it was just a great story. I wish I would have picked this up a lot sooner than what I did, because this is definitely my kind of story. And I actually have to apologize for Mike, because he's the one that told me to pick this book up a while ago, and I kind of blew it off. I was like, it's a Hulk story. We pretty much know how that goes. So egg on my face for being a moron, but I am happy I'm reading it now. Man, I'm enjoying it.
That's not egg.
Oh, is he trying to be funny? Look at him.
You're laughing, man. It must have been funny. You're laughing. I'm just saying.
I don't always laugh. That's what I'm known for.
I'm known for being pretty funny.
Yeah, I actually enjoy the art in this book too.
Wait. I'm going to need you to be quiet for just a second, because
you messed up there, and I can't hear you at all.
Yeah, we just keep going.
Okay, I'll just keep going.
I'm going to interrupt because my buddy LJ just jumped in the chat.
Did she?
Yeah, we're going to shout that out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she hasn't watched the show in a while. I better watch my mouth now.
Yeah, you
better.
better.
Talked about Red Sonja. So the Joe Bennett is the artist in this book. I actually dig this art. So Absorbing Man kind of figured out I kind of screwed up. This is all my fault. So I better do what I can to try to help the Hulk out here. And he ends up giving Hulk his power back, essentially. And he just goes and starts ripping up. And this is definitely good stuff. I mean, this is pretty deep for a Hulk book. Usually it's Hulk mad, Hulk smash.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all Hulk is, just total destruction. But they take a deeper dive into the character. What?
I said that's She-Hulk now.
That pretty much is, yeah. This was good, though. I'm still enjoying this book a lot, and I'm looking forward to continuing on. So definitely, it's a stash for me as well. What's she saying? As if I don't know what goes on. Yeah, well, she probably does. She's probably at the door listening. She didn't know what goes on in Dallas.
We have our secrets, don't we?
Yeah, whose book that was? That was Joe's book. And nobody else read that, right? No, just me and Joe.
Yeah, for some reason, Immortal Hulk doesn't make it my way into my pull list, so I have to pick it up the next week every time. I'm starting to get a little upset about it.
Have you been reading it?
Yeah, no, I have been reading it a week late because, it takes me that long to find out that I missed it.
Aggressively Relaxed says, this Hulk book bums me out. It's not bad. I dislike happy comics.
Agreed. It's very depressing.
It's deep. It's deep.
Okay, well, moving on to Mike and your next book.
Don't have a lot left.
Oh, Comic Chief's in here too. I see him all the time on Discovery Bay. He's all the time.
What's going on, Bubba?
Okay, sorry, Mike. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you're fine. We'll do Old Man. I'm still recovering from this fucking cold I got. I'm all stuffy. Old Man Quill #1. So Star-Lord is an emperor now, and he's getting ready to go to war with a group called the Universal Church. Pretty interesting stuff. During this war, his wife and son gets killed. They actually flash forward then. where he has now become an alcoholic. The Guardians come calling the old men Guardians. I guess Groot's dead. Everybody else is old. Old man Rockets fucking got a cane. They go on a little adventure, take on the Brood, and at the end of the book, they end up crash landing into Wasteland. So maybe they'll run into Old Man Logan. I liked it. It's a stash. I like the old men stuff, old woman stuff,
old kid stuff. Drew.
Yeah, this is a blast. I had no fun with this book. Old Man Rocket was the only saving grace. Drax is dead. He just fucking died. So like, could we like maybe at least in the future have him be dead still? Like just like for old time's sake, for continuity or something, just like have him be dead. You could have Groot in there and just had Drax be dead. Drax didn't even do anything interesting, so I just don't know why he's in this book. I just feel like this is a bit of a stretch. Old Man Logan, I dug. Old Man Hawkeye kind of spun directly out of that. This to me is just like really. I mean, the Guardians are a completely different team right now. It doesn't seem like they're going to be back to that team for quite some time. So it doesn't make sense to me that would be what happened to the Old Man Guardians. The art was okay. Meh. Comic Girl Ava wants to question Marvel continuity. The only company with problems with continuity is DC Comics. Marvel's had the same continuity since the 60s.
You're just complaining about the continuity.
I don't want to fight about it. No, this is not good. Like, but Marvel continuity is the cornerstone of a fictional continuity, and I'll go to the grave defending that. But this right here, this is not good.
You just literally said, "Hey, how about we have some continuity here?" And now you're saying,
that's why it's not good, because it goes against continuity. No, Marvel has the strongest continuity.
Okay, you can say that maybe.
Continuity. Yes,
okay, you can say that. You can say that.
Oh,
I'll
Mike,
let you have that.
Don't get me riled up.
Oh, shut up, Joe.
I'm gonna need to get my heart pills.
I liked it. I didn't treat it like it should be kept in continuity. I treated this like it was its own separate comic book telling its own separate story. You know, like the 4 different Spider-Mans we have, or the 3 different Supermans we have, or whatever character you want. That's how I pretty much treated this. It's just a different comic. If my only real critique with this is they tried to cram too much into one issue. They tried to get us to explain why Star-Lord or Quill is in charge of a planet. Who came up with that idea? I don't know. Apparently they don't know him very well. He's got a family. He's fighting a war. He's lost a war. He went in stasis and became a drunk. Team shows back up. Crash lands on a planet. You know, that's just a lot of points to hit in 28 pages. And I think that's where it was kind of just too much at one time. I did like the banter. Great verbiage going through it. Great story arc through it if you had more pages. Unfortunately, I think they're just trying to cram all the stuff that they don't want you to really focus a lot on and kind of start kicking off that story in issue 2. So that's what I'm kind of looking for, or at least that's what I'm hoping. Hopefully I'm not proven wrong. Please don't prove me wrong. And I think it's really cool that in this particular cover, Quill's wearing a Punisher outfit. It's kind of awesome.
Is it, or does it kind of look? I think there's shadows on there.
No, it's a skull.
Okay.
I don't know why that is either. It's weird, but you can see the eyes, and you can see the teeth. It's a more futuristic version.
Maybe. Does it show better in the book?
Not really. It's kind of hard to tell with the trench coat and everything being worn.
Okay, that was it for Old Man Porcupine. My next book, Old Man Porcupine, is an offshoot of Dark Horse Comics that gets its Burger books, and that is The Girl in the Bay. It's a 4-part miniseries. When I put this on my pull list, I try to read anything. I try to, sometimes my LCS questions some of the books that I put on my pull list. Like, really? You're going to read Snot Girl? Okay, whatever, dude. As long as you pay for it, I don't care. So the story starts out. This girl's
You read
drowning in
Snot
water. What's that?
You read Snot Girl?
I read the first one. Yeah,
Oh, I'm just saying you never review Snot Girl on the show, so
I had.
if you're reading it, you must be embarrassed about it.
You threw me off now. I can't possibly review this book because you threw me off.
I'm sorry. I'll go on mute. I want time out.
The book starts out with a woman named Catherine. She's down in the water. Blood's coming off. No, it's not her period. Then it comes back. Her soul's leaking out. And then it jumps back, and it says Brooklyn, New York, April 1969. So it kind of a little backstory on her. She's saying that there's no curfew it wouldn't break. There's no argument it wouldn't start. There's no illegal substance I wouldn't ingest. So she's just this juvenile delinquent of a kid, always making her parents pissed off. She ends up leaving, going down to this bar. She's in the bar, taking these drugs, kind of weirded out, like there's mushrooms or something. She goes outside to kind of clear her head. She meets this bearded hippie dude with a whole bunch of French on his leather jacket. And they start talking. They're making a connection, blah, blah, blah. They're standing, looking at the water, and all of a sudden he yanks out a knife and starts stabbing her. Throws her off into the water. And that's where it goes back to her kind of like her soul leaking out and all this stuff. She pops out of the water. There's a big spirit behind her. And then we explain who that is yet. She's going back to her house again. But she realized then it's 2019. So it's been 50 years since she got stabbed and fell into the water. And she's trying to figure out what's going on. She ended up running to, I believe, if I understand her older self. But she's trying not to give in to that, I think. And her little sister is the one that died. Maybe Paul might be able to speak to it a little bit better. But this wasn't too bad of a story. I definitely would pick up the other ones in $1 bin if I could find them, just to finish the story up. But Girl in the Bay. It's a soft stash, I guess. Paul, what about you? What do you think of Girl in the Bay?
It was my co-pick of the week. I thought it was amazing. Had amazing art, great story. It's a total mindfuck acid trip. It's written by J.M. DeMatteis, who wrote perhaps my favorite short story arc ever with Craven's Last Hunt, and time hasn't diminished his writing skill. There's a lot going on here. I'm gonna have to read it again just to get it all. And I think if you put this down now, you're gonna hate yourself later.
So did I read it right? That's her older self she ran into? Or
yes.
Okay.
And her sister disappeared. They don't know what happened to her, but her older self thinks that the one who got out of the water, she thinks that she's the daughter of her sister.
Okay, that's why she looks so familiar. Okay, yeah, I was a little bit lost at the end of that book, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, there's a lot going on right now, and it's going to at least take another episode to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. Double S wants to know if she's related to Discovery Bay. Maybe. Who knows? Back to Drew. You can get off mute now if you like.
Oh, I'm off mute, baby. I learned how to control myself because I wanted to save up all that excitement to talk about X-23. This is number 9. This series is not slowing down. It's amazing. I like Tamaki's writing in here. The art is killer as well. We got Gabby, the honey badger, the greatest character in Marvel right now. I mean, she's being like contested for best character by Cosmic Ghost Rider, but it's not even really close. Honey Badger kicks ass. Yeah, she's going to train this this assassin robot cyborg thing to help them out. And man, this book is killer. Absolutely phenomenal. If Uncanny didn't come out and blow my socks off, this would have been my pick of the week. But alas, regular old ass Wolverine wins out.
Joe, X-23?
Yeah. Great story. It's always been a thing for Gabby about family and kind of the normal routines of family, like birthdays was a thing in one arc. And now we got, what family is. And technically this assassin thing is from their DNA. So does that classify as family? And apparently that's good enough for Gabby. However, we don't know how X-23 feels about that. So that's going to be kind of interesting coming up here real soon. So yeah, it's funny. It's cool. It's a light read. Nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I can't say anything bad about it. But as far as picking them up, I mean, really, yeah, if it's there, I'll pick it up. I'm not going to say I'm like dying to read more of it, but you know, when I'm in the stack and I'm sitting in my lounger reading through comic books, it's a fun read. I have no problems with it. Doesn't really harp on anything. But again, I like this kind of concept that Gabby has for family. Obviously, it's a made-up fantasy in her head that she wishes to enjoy. So let her have it for now. We'll see how it backfires in this arc.
Mike?
Yeah, good stuff. Instead of talking about this book, though, I'm going to tell a little story.
Do it. Tell a story.
Oh, story time with Grandpa.
Funny story about
Story time
that.
with Grandpa. So, my wife's friend, Jessica, recently found out she was pregnant. And I am trying so hard to get her to name the baby Honey Badger or Gabby. It's going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's going to happen. She will name that baby Gabby or Honey Badger or whatever, but it's going to happen. So that's my story. So
Good story, bro.
But this is a stash as well. Jessica, if you're watching, Gabby.
I don't think you've influenced her any further by being on the show. That was Joe's book.
Before we move on,
Yes, sir.
this freaking splash page right here. I mean,
This
come
is
on.
crazy.
That's just great. Look at that. Somebody in the chat had asked if Witter does the insides. No, this is Olortugi. I don't know how to pronounce these words. I don't know how to say this guy's name, but it's right there on the cover. Orlatugi. Orlatu. Tugwa.
You make fun of me because I can't pronounce names.
Hey, man. I make fun of you for a lot of reasons.
But the names you have trouble with are like Smith and
I'm gonna use my one F word in this show. So it's a PG-13 version of me. Fuck off. Okay. That was Drew on that one. We'll go ahead and jump by Paul. We'll be back to you, Paul, since you only have like one or two more books. Go to Joe.
Oh, we'll go to Joe. Let's go ahead and talk about Female Furies. So yeah, this was kind of a weird story. We got a kind of a backstory on Granny Goodness. I'll be honest, I didn't know much about Granny Goodness. Never really got into the whole Mr. Miracle universe. Those comic books wasn't really my thing. Kind of got a backstory about how she was kind of a badass back in the day, and all the guys kind of kept women in their place and put her in charge of an orphanage. So what does she do? She creates a bunch of female badass soldiers, pushes them, whatever it takes, even if sometimes some sexual harassment's involved or something inappropriate. Apparently, Darkseid slept with Granny Goodness at one point and kind of used her. So yeah, this is definitely deep on the my girls are just as equal to your soldiers type of speech type of thing. And I don't know, maybe they are. I don't know. But I thought this was just kind of, and I don't want to be weird, but it just seemed like it was trying to force feed me a message instead of just telling me a good story, improving it in the story. That's what it just kind of came off to me. I liked some aspects of it. Some of it was really cool. And if they would have kept with that, just that cooler stuff, then it's all good in the hood. But no, they kept forcing this constant thing down my throat that I'm not really sure if I was really buying or not. I don't know. I'm going to give it a couple more issues to be fair. The artwork's outstanding in it. And I mean, they have a great plot point. So maybe they'll keep that going and kind of back off of this. We're all equal no matter what. You're either better or you're better. That's the way it is. I don't care if you're man, woman, or what color you are, if you're better at something, then you're better at something. This equal quality thing that I keep trying to talk about in there, I don't know. Be better. Don't be equal. that's how I live.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. This book was good until it got to a certain point. I mean, the name of the story is Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Bleeding.
Yeah.
I don't know where you want to go with that. It would have been a better story. Yeah, they talk about, the whole sexist men and the women are less than men. Just give me a story where these women are kicking ass. That's all I need. That's all I wanted.
Yeah, it's
Have
great.
this Barda in there kicking ass. Have these women just kicking ass, going on mission and doing what they need to do. The whole like I said, the force feeding of no, these are all men are sexist, all men are this. I didn't like that too much. I would, like I said, women can be badass. This shut up. Just let them be badasses in the story. The whole thing was stupid, I thought, where they were trying to prove themselves to be equal to Darkseid's army or Darkseid's the bake-off, the evening gown, the smile contest.
Yeah, they made him go through that ridiculous contest, and that did not need to be in there. That was stupid.
I mean, I can understand some of it to where Darkseid's pushing Granny Goodness. Nope, you're a woman. You need to manage the orphanage. That's what women do. I mean, I can see where that's more of a jumping off point, saying, "Hey, no, I'm gonna train these women to be better than your soldiers." I would have been totally okay with that. But the whole thing that kept moving forward, I don't even mind them showing the point where that guy's like, no, she needs to come do extra training with me, and he sexually assaults her. I can see that too. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, it would have been cool if they left that alone and then she beats the shit at him or something. That would have been awesome.
I wouldn't have minded. But man, this is the only issue I'm getting of this. I was really looking for. I love the Granny Goodness backstory, so she was the one who was kicking ass. I'm like, whoa, that was her. I love that, but it was just too much of that agenda for me, unfortunately.
I'm not going to judge it on the first issue. Obviously, this writer has something to say. Fine, you said it. Now tell me a story.
I'm judging it on the first issue, and I'm blasting it. It's my last of the week. Drew pointed out this Matina cover. He said, what cover, what book do you take that from? What was it, Drew? You never mentioned it.
I don't know. It looks like it's probably just a Deathstroke cover, and he just put some curves on it. I don't know. He stole it from somewhere.
Oh, God.
That dude doesn't make his own stuff. Seriously, look, just Matina, just stop buying this stuff, guys. If we stop buying this stuff, it'll stop being an issue. They're not that great anyway. They're all just DCB covers. None of them worth shit. Stop buying Matina. The Matina
cover. I just liked it. Jeez.
I don't know. Matina.
Jump off the horse there, buddy, and relax.
No, I don't dig art thieves. That's just me. Not a fan.
Okay, let's see here. Mike only has a couple books too. We talked about Old Man and Quill. I'll mark that off my list. Okay, I'll talk about one other book real quick before we jump on to Drew and move back around. So this is an independent book. Huh?
So jump on to me.
I'm not going to jump on to you. This actually came out a couple years ago, but I just got it, and this is from the same guy that wrote the Steel Verses that we read a few weeks back. The Mountie and the Indian. So this is Final Street. Oh my goodness, I'm throwing it around. Final Street by Devil's Due. So you can definitely tell it's a Street Fighter kind of story. The whole story is here that the girl on the cover, she's just badass. Her boyfriend's a beta male, he's just like, oh, well, you'll protect me, and that kind of stuff. And her boyfriend ends up getting kidnapped, and her and her friend end up going through these stages to try to find her boyfriend. And so they're getting their ass kicked in the bar, and they jump out of the bar, start kicking ass, and trying to find a page here. And here we are outside in the subway. Here's a little life meter. They're fighting, and they go through these different bosses, different stages. It's kind of cool. I actually dig it. And they never get the boyfriend back. They're still trying to fight at the end. Here's player 1, player 2, stage 1 clear. So it's pretty cool. I like it. Okay. If you like Street Fighter, definitely a book for you. So It's by Scott Schmidt, Pistol Whip Press. Go ahead there, Drew.
Shout out to the chat real quick. We got Caffeinated Comics hanging out. Tacoma hopped in as well. What's going on? We got some good conversation going on. Very excited about the Tracer Matina in here. Hashtag Tracer. Every time I see a Matina cover, just shout out that hashtag Tracer.
I'm still going to pick him up if I like him.
Hey, you should definitely pick up everything you like that somebody traced. Go ahead and pick it up.
You got an opinion about it?
Good.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm in rare form tonight. I'm really not trying to be.
It's pretty average.
Yeah, that's why
it's pretty normal.
I'm just being quiet because I was your target earlier.
Yeah, well, don't you feel better now? This Huey? All right, guys, let's talk about Justice League number 17. I've been loving Justice League so far. I thought the art has been on point. Chung does the art in this issue, and it took 17 issue, guys, but this is a blast. I really could not care less about Lex Luthor having a heart-to-heart with the Martian Manhunter riding a dragon. Like, it was not terrible, certainly not on the level of where it's been. I thought that the Jim Chung art at some points looked like very Ramita Jr., to say the least. This book seemed rushed, and it really did nothing for me, which is upsetting because Justice League is one of those books that I'm always looking forward to. It's been very consistent, and this is just kind of a step backward for it. So I'm blasting it, guys.
You're the only one who read that. I have it. I haven't read it, though. I'm so far behind on Justice League right now.
When you flip through it, you'll get what I'm talking about. Or you won't. You'll love it because I don't know if it's traced or not, but
go back there. Paul, your next book. Looks like maybe you only have one left. Is that
Jockio in the chat?
Oh, you got two. You have two left.
Nothing kills
I have three left.
The Martian Manhunter.
Three. You go through your first one. I'll look through and see what else you got.
Prodigy number 3. First off, Mikey's gonna buy this book on the cover alone. I'm sure he did. Second, I'm still liking this book. I mean, I dig all the Indiana Jones dirt pit kind of stuff. You got sunken temples and pirates, and you got sharks that he's fighting, and you got ISIS. I mean, how can you go wrong? Is it a great read? No. Is it a good, entertaining read? Yeah. So I'll keep picking it up. It's a stash for me.
Joe, Prodigy number 3.
Man, this is such a fun read. I mean, if you like Indiana Jones, good analogy, by the way. Indiana Jones, if you like MacGyver, if you like Dr. Phil, which, yeah, I'm going to throw that in there. Yeah, you're going to like that.
How many beers have you had, Joe?
What if I like Indiana Jones but hate Dr. Phil? What should I do then?
Probably don't pick up the book. You weren't going to anyway. Be quiet.
Oh,
you want to go with young Indiana Jones, probably.
The adults are talking.
That's why it's boring.
The reason why I picked Dr. Phil in it is because apparently everybody that works with Mr. Prodigy here has some sort of emotional issue that he kind of helped them through in a psychological sense. There's the drug addict that helped him in the Middle East. The new sidekick who was down and out with PTSD. And apparently he's kind of coached them and counseled them and kind of put them under his wing. So, yeah, I'll throw Dr. Phil in there. It's the only TV
you actually get to see that in this issue with the guys in Pakistan sent to kill him.
Yeah, and then he literally talked the guy down from killing. Yeah, that was it was beautiful. Yeah, he's a little over smart, and some of it is kind of an easy throw out because he's so smart. But then again, we're talking about 32 to 28 pages. You only got so much space to tell a story. So skip over the stuff and get to the meat and potatoes. And this book does that very well. It transitions very well. It's a light, easy read, and it's just stupid fun. That's really all there is to it. And man, it just makes you want to go out and go treasure hunting. It really does. For reading wise, this is my pick of the week. I've really been enjoying this.
I think stupid fun is a perfect analogy. Like I said, it's not a great book, but it's a good book. And I would also like to point out, I think your idea of meat and potatoes is very different from Mikey's.
This book jumped the shark for me. I mean, literally on the cover has a shark, and I am done with this book from this point on. The whole part about him, that guy's there, "No, we're gonna kill you," and he's like, "Is this who you wanted to be when you grew up?" Like, come on, literally, come on, man.
Why it was there. It was there.
And he says, your father walked out and you were 5 years old. Your stepfather, I suspect, put you in the hospital on more than one occasion. Come on, dude. And he pulls him up and they hug and embrace, and then all of a sudden he's on his side.
Dude, he gave him a job.
You read books about guys who wear spandex and shoot beams out of their fucking eyes, and you're going to talk about the belief of some of this shit?
Yeah. On that I am. Yeah.
It's a matter of context.
Because,
the context is it's meant to be the joke. They're making fun of storybook storytelling. It's
maybe.
A joke.
I don't know. The whole part, he's down in the water. He's killing the one shark with the knife. He says, "Rachel, now drop the gun," and it drops exactly where he is to shoot the sharks, and he climbs out. And I was like, I'm done. I'm literally done with this book. Most of the time I will, if it's a 6-issue miniseries or whatever, I'll try to finish it out. I'm done. I'm not picking up issue 4. This is my blast of the week.
Look, my argument before you blast it.
No, too late. I've already blasted. I can't take a blast back.
This
No blast back.
is not meant to be taken as a serious comic book. This is a parody.
I still don't like
Therefore, it should be read as a parody. It's making fun of the stuff. It's not telling you a story about a hero. It's making fun of comic books. I think it's great.
No blastbacks.
We're all entitled to our opinions.
This is just another instance of Dave being 100% wrong.
I don't know. I dropped that book after issue 1, so I don't think it can be that wrong.
I think Drew and I are going to agree on this.
Exactly. 8 shitty X-Men books.
8 picks of the week, my friend. 8 picks of the week.
They gave him that skull from Red Sonja full of shit and put X-Men on it, and he's like, pick of the week.
Hey, man. You put badass X-23 fighting dinosaurs in a book, I'm sorry, it's going to get pick of the week. It's better than any of the shit that any of the other fucking companies are putting out. It's better than any of the Avengers books. It's better than fucking Tom King Batman bullshit. X-23 fighting a Tyrannosaurus wins. I'm sorry. That wins every time.
When it comes to your opinions, write a book about it. Don't waste our time on it. We got a ton of comic books.
Damn. Joe's go hitting you. Joe, you're up with your next book.
Well, I better pick something Drew liked, otherwise I ain't gonna hear the end of it. Hold on.
Good fucking luck.
X-Men Black.
Look, I can't even defend that. I'm sorry. Those Campbell covers, though. And that Apocalypse backup, that was pretty good.
See, he made it find a way.
I found a way. I'm sorry.
Deadpool number 9. First off, I picked this up strictly for the cover. I was going to give this to my wife as a Valentine's Day gift because I'm sometimes a jerk.
Sometimes?
And then I made the mistake of reading it. And guess what? It was a great detective noir type story where we're literally trying to find Deadpool's heart and who's got it. And then it kind of left you on a cliffhanger where you got to get the next issue because something weird's going to happen. I don't want to spoil it too much because if I say too much and then you get it, right? But if you haven't picked this up yet and you don't mind Deadpool, I know Deadpool kind of does this sarcastic joke at life thing, breaking the fourth wall, yada, yada, yada. And that can get on people's nerves after a while. But man, go pick this up. It reads like an old school detective story. And we got Jessica Jones in it. She's a detective in it. And we got the shenanigans from Deadpool in it. And we end up with something cool at the end. Definitely pick it up. Again, this is one of those ones where it's just kind of, I think it's a sleeper. So, yeah, I'm stashing that. It was a good deal.
Drew, you read Deadpool?
Oh, I certainly did read Deadpool. And I liked it. I think that Nick Klein in this book does his best, Gatos and the entire thing. It's opposed to smack of an issue of Jessica Jones. I think that works really well. I think that he takes Scotty Young does a great take on the noir detective type story in the way that he writes this. Very very smoky room, 1930s detective style, hard boiled dialogue in this, no matter how goofy it goes. But yeah, I really like the homage the art did, and this is just solid Deadpool right now. Scotty Young's doing a great job on this book. His goofiness really fits right in line with the character, and does cover some of his pathos that we've gotten over the past couple of runs. It's a stash, man.
Mike, your next book.
My next book and my last book.
It is.
I had really fun tonight watching the show. Marvelous X-Men #1. While Cyclops and Wolverine are palling around over in Uncanny, the world has been recreated and everybody's a fucking mutant. And all they have left to do is prevent fires and shit. But no, I really enjoyed this world. I was a huge fan of Age of Apocalypse. This is going in a total opposite direction. I'm loving it. Cyclops has one arm. I just realized that.
Colossus.
Colossus. Sorry.
And he really has like 1 3/4 arms.
Correct. I love it. Great stuff. Can't wait for the rest of the issues to come out. Stash and Marvelous X-Men.
I did not read that yet, but I did pick up the Storm cover. Anybody else get that Storm cover?
I did not.
Yeah, that's a pretty badass cover. Keep calm and make it rain. Yeah. Drew. X-Men.
I picked up the Noto cover and the Lee and Hook, I believe that's how you say it, cover. Pretty great stuff, man. I'm liking this. Not so much Age of Apocalypse as it is House of M. A lot of really kind of eerie things are kind of brought up in this, especially the mutant hatcheries and things of that nature. It's kind of a strange deal. But I think we're going to get into some exciting stuff in this book. It's a lot of fun X-Men stuff. You guys know me and my X-Men. I'm going to stash it.
Yeah. All day you stash it.
Hey, man, that Uncanny was the pick of the week.
Okay.
Be mad at it.
Okay, we're getting close to go to lightning round here, but let's go with.
Can I talk about the X-Men book too?
Oh, you may talk. Gosh, dang it, Joe! I am off my game tonight.
4 times.
That's 4 times. That's 4 times.
But you keep skipping Joey, so it's all right.
Dang it! Well, I don't know why I didn't have you down. I apologize,
Well,
Joe.
here's the interesting thing
time.
about it. Again, the book makes another reference to another philosopher in the back of it. Bernard Dionne was a French philosopher, political economist, and a futurist, which does not exist anymore, that particular profession. He was always worried.
Elon Musk is a futurist.
Huh?
Elon Musk is a futurist.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Not by philosophy standards, he is not.
Sure
he
he
calls himself a futurist because he
is.
He's an inventor. He's nothing more than that.
Now you're hating on Musk.
You can't find a credible source no, you don't get to do that tonight. No. Nope. All right. So in philosophy, a futurist is somebody that is always worried about the future, obviously. And the particular writer of the book that they mentioned in here and at the end that they took the quote from was always worried about utopias. And he says, and this may sound familiar to the group, utopia is where tyranny is born, because that's ultimately what it takes. And we talked about this in the last issue of the X-Men as well. You know, you have this utopia, and we know shady stuff is going on in the background to keep it a utopia. Therefore, it is not a utopia. It is fascism. So I've been enjoying the X-Men eating on itself at this point. I've been very critical of the X-Men books, rightfully so. But I'm liking this because now we're going to find out who's full of crap and who's not. And at the end of the day, we'll find out what's going on. So I'm liking it up to this point. And I got the Storm cover, the connecting variant. Apparently, I pre-ordered all these. And I got a mystery variant. I'm not sure who the artist is or anything about it, or if I should even crack it. So I'm going to leave it up to the chat. You think I should crack it? Let me know now. By the end of the show, yes or no's get the decision. We'll find out what.
Comic Girl Ava said she grabbed that polybag variant too. I don't know if she opened it. Let us know in the chat if you did open it. What was the cover like? It was great.
Up in the chat.
Crap.
I'll be the last one in the lightning round. Whoever says I should open it, we'll open it. If enough people say.
Okay. Well, I'm going to move on now, Joe. Is that okay?
I don't know. It depends on the next book if you decide to skip me or not.
Well, Super Sons. I think Drew and I are the only two that read that this week. Yes. So Super Sons number 7, or should I say Adventures of the Super Sons. So they are in juvenile detention. Robin's out. They stick Superboy in, let's say Jonathan Kent, because he's powered by the sun. They stick him in this solitary confinement so he can't get, energy, no power. Joker, young Joker's on the loose. Lex Luthor's trying to capture him and Robin both. And I don't remember if Grundette was in the first issue with the younger Joker or not. Was she, Drew? Do you remember?
What's that?
Not answering.
You're going it out on me.
Grundette.
Yeah.
She was I remember her. No, she was. Okay. I didn't remember. But we do have first appearance of a new Green Lantern in training in here, and his name is I can't remember his name either. But this is actually a pretty good story. I love it. Robin's trying to find Lex around in there. Why can't I freaking talk now? He's trying to find a villain, trying to get out of here. At the very end of the book, here's him. Alex, that's the Green Lantern in training. His first appearance in here. Oh, I do love this scene here. I did talk about it on our Instagram, which we do have now have an Instagram account. Go follow us on there. We grabbed this young Green Lantern kid, and he picks him up, and Green Lantern says, I'm supposed to say, what has 3 legs in the morning? I thought that was kind of a weird riddle.
Me?
Yeah, Mike. I would say Mike. In the chat, what has 3 legs in the morning? If you know that riddle. But this is continuing to be good. Jonathan Kent ends up getting out of his imprisonment just in time to save Damien. Good stuff. Still picking this up. Not looking forward to this ending, though. True. Super Sons.
Yeah. Funny story about Super Sons. Not only do I love it, it's the favorite comic book of known futurist Elon Musk. A simple Google search could tell you that, but
no, not from a Google's not credible. Nice try.
The definition of Google is credible.
You cannot put it in a paper, therefore you cannot cite it. Done.
I can put it on all kinds of papers. I'll just write it down.
Done. Done.
Elon Musk is a futurist. He's the modern day Tony Stark. Super Stones also.
It's a master star.
Okay. Paul. You have 2 books left.
Yep. Die number 3 continues to be an excellent read, and this issue is a real fucking mind bender. Started out being just kind of an action book about a real life Dungeons and Dragons, but this issue gets into the whole philosophical, psychological, what makes a hero stuff. So I'm sure Pocan's going to have a shit ton to say about this. But I am going to stash this till the end. This is getting really deep.
This is a miniseries, right?
Yeah, I think it's 6 issues.
Joe, I remembered you this time. Just because Paul,
futurist, as a traditionalist, this book hits a lot of interesting points on, again, a classic theme that's throughout comic books. What does it take to be a hero, and what justifies a hero? Now, they took a page from J.R. Or The Hobbit, actually, from the wars that happened in some of the other previous books up to the Lords of the Rings, where they're kind of dealing with those issues in the battle lines of the Hobbit Wars. Great read, great stuff. Now, I will say this, it may be a little confusing from the last issue to this issue, because it doesn't really explain the transition very well. I didn't think so. For a minute there, I had to kind of back up to the last issue and see if maybe I just missed something. No, it's just a bad transition, and that's okay. They got a lot to say in this book. They want to get forward. They want to get to the action and the good stuff. But, oh, man, what a mind bender in this one. Is anybody really a good guy? Is anybody really a bad guy? Or are we all just kind of sprinkled with good and bad in both of us? As a traditionalist, I generally think that way about all people. And this book kind of falls in line with that. And so, yeah, I'm definitely enjoying this. I'm going to be honest with you. This is not the typical comic book superhero story. This gets weird. And it wants you, the reader, to think and decide on things. It does not want to tell you how you should feel about these characters or anything. It leaves that completely in your pocket, and that just makes good reading. Because now you get to read a book and then think about it. And really, that's what you should be doing. I mean, that's just great reading. I loved it.
I picked up a lot of what they were laying down, but I knew you were going to get it on a whole nother level because that's what your degree's in, isn't it?
I minored in philosophy and I majored in human services with a focus in counseling and minor psychology.
Yeah, so you've had a more in-depth exposure to that. So,
and I do it for a living too, just for companies and businesses.
Pecan. That's what JLF. So do you leave those stickers on the poly bag?
Yeah, my stupid figures. For those, I'll leave them on for a little bit until I transition them. I'm a little behind on my regular bag and boarding. Those came from Midtown. That was the order I had to make. So, yeah, I left them on for now, just for tonight.
Do you want to go ahead? You and Paul, the only two, went over Vindication as well. You want to go over that real quick, and then we'll go lightning round?
Yeah, Paul, would you like to start off with Vindication?
You start with that one since I started with Die.
Okay, I'll start with Vindication. All right, so I thought this was going to be another weird, I have a story to tell, even though it doesn't make sense type of story. I was a little worried about that getting into it. Now, I have no problems with reading things that deal with hard matter subjects like racism, sexism. I have no problems with this stuff, and some of it I actually enjoy reading. It does not bother me. And that's what the summary kind of gave me on this book. But I figured I'd go ahead and give it a shot. And I read it, and it did not read like this. This reads like a crime story with a I mean, this could be any 1970s, early 80s detective movie where the cop thinks that the guy he put in jail was bad and why they let him go and yada, yada, yada. It does not read like anything that actually happens today. So I liked it. Like, I kind of enjoyed it. It wasn't a bad read. It didn't read like a comic book. Maybe it should be all together in a trade paperback, but definitely not a comic book story, I didn't think. And it's very noir. It's very dark. It's very deep. A lot of passion, a lot of just anger in here and all kinds of things. But it kind of tried to kick it off as some sort of, what's it like to be a cop, to walk the lines today of social justice and blah, blah, blah. And then I picked up the book and read it, and I didn't get that at all from it. I basically just got a detective story is all I really got. Now, will that change in the next issues? It's a number one issue. Who knows what's going to happen next? But out of this issue, yeah, I didn't get all that. But it wasn't bad. It was a pretty good read.
I would agree with you on that. I went into it saying this could go one of two ways, and this has the potential to be really good. I really enjoyed the first issue. The if it doesn't fall into pure political grandstanding bullshit. Mm-hmm. I mean, right now they're like you said, it's just a detective story. The criminal or the accused criminal happens to be black, and the cop happens to be white. And that can be made part of the story. But if that becomes the sole reason for the story, this is going to suck. Mm-hmm. Just tell the fucking story. I'm going to keep picking this up and reading it and hope it doesn't get to a point where I have to drop it, which I had to do that with one book earlier this year, the one about the with the chupacabra and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Are they still printing that? Like, I had to drop that too because that was
like Border Town or something like that.
It just started laying it on with it way too thick, and I was like, I just
seen an issue of that forever. So yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, this, like you said, it's a great detective story. At this point, you the way they set it up is the guy that gets out of prison. Was he guilty of the crime? Is he not guilty of the crime? Is he committing the crime
It's
now?
a perspective thing. Oh yeah, it's good stuff.
And you see the cop, he's doing shit that's not necessarily right, but
Like cocaine.
Cocaine and strippers.
Yeah, there you go.
That sounds as right as it gets. Apparently, Border Town got canceled. Comments said because the writer was an abusive person or something like that. Hey, sounds like 2019, doesn't it?
We're not missing anything.
Nah.
Isn't that great of a book anyway?
Okay.
First issue was good. I mean, it came out of the gate pretty good, and then it just went downhill.
Lightning round. Start with you, Drew.
All right, start with me, man. Cover of the week goes to this Batman 64 Sean Murphy cover. I got to turn it sideways to enjoy it, but man, I did open up the book inside and I saw that March's art in this book is phenomenal. Then I read it and I realized, oh, Williamson's writing this. It's better than Tom King's Batman, but it's still crap, and that's why I don't read Flash. Apparently, Gotham is still alive and he's being propped up on some kind of Bane venom, and Gotham Girl is the one who's killing people, but it's tied in somehow to Sanctuary. And no, this book is dumb. It's terrible. Burn it with fire. Tom King's Batman is bad. This somehow is worse. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
So you have to turn it sideways to enjoy it. So it's kind of like any other relationship you've been in.
Hey man, they enjoy it no matter how I turn them. Let's talk about some indie books. I did not go into any indie books this week, and I'll tell you what, I liked all of them that I read. Murder Falcon. If you're not reading Murder Falcon, oh, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Read Murder Falcon. For fuck's sake, just do it. Unnatural. Man, if you don't like pig nips, I don't know what's wrong with you. This book has been stellar. Was it Mirka Andolfo? She's going to be at C2E2. I'm bringing some of these books to get signed up. I'm a big fan of her work in this. Not only does she draw sexy, voluptuous pig ladies, she also tells a fantastic story with all kinds of social consequences in every direction. This is really cool stuff. Worth picking up, worth reading. Check it out.
Actually, the art on Teen Titans 12, first Batman Who Laughs, too.
There you go. I thought that was 13.
12.
Whatever. I've got it. It's somewhere in my box. Archie, 1941. This finally wraps up, and it has a happy ending in a lot of ways, which I kind of found to be a little bit out of place, but it is Archie. What are you shaking your head at?
I'm reading Double S's comment. Sorry, not you.
You're just shaking your head like you're big on my screen. You're just like, I'm talking.
Why am I big on your screen? I shouldn't be.
I don't know. I clicked on you or something. Who knows? I don't want to be looking at you. It's all my fault. But yeah, but this is good. I thought it ended a little bit too happy for me. But there was a little bit of pathos thrown in there as well. But yeah, good story. Great exploration of these characters set in a different time period. I dug it. Oberon #1, man. This is good stuff. I really, really enjoyed this. It has a lot of Labyrinth influence in it. If you were a fan of Labyrinth, you're probably gonna like this. This is just a really cool story about a bookworm kid and her falling into a land of magic and make-believe. Really cool stuff. I enjoyed it. And Huey, we're the only two ones who still read this on the panel. Walking Dead. This had some really great stuff with Princess in it. I'm really enjoying her character. I think that we're going to see the turn for Mercer coming up soon. Yeah, man, just great soap opera storytelling. I can't get enough of it. Stash it.
I think we're the only two that actually read Walking Dead. I mean, since you've been on, I don't think anybody else does at all.
Well, fuck them.
Mike picks it up.
I pick it up and I try to read it, but I don't always get it in.
Joe, your lightning round.
Oh, let's talk about some good books. Yes, I also got the Spider-Man book or not Spider-Man. Jesus Christ, Batman book. I've been drinking too much.
I reiterate, how many beers have you had?
Enough to not realize that Elon Musk is a futurist, so we're going to pass that on.
You don't even know what a futurist is. Be quiet. Batman. Yeah, garbage book, garbage story, great cover. Didn't make any sense. Didn't need to make any sense. Nobody asked for that story. Young Justice. This was actually pretty good, and Jeannie's got a gun. They brought her shotgun back, which was awesome. They even made a little catching wink nod to you where she had to make a decision of grabbing the ray gun, which was stupid, or grabbing a shotgun. And she grabbed the shotgun and she took care of business. And we got a backstory of Wonder Girl and that nobody asked for, but it was okay. Project Superpowers, we just ended our first arc in this, and this was actually pretty cool. We got the American flag. It's found a new host, and man, was she kicking butt in it and doing great work. Kudos to them. Good writing. Still picking up Green Lantern, even though I don't know why. The story's kind of jumping around everywhere. Yeah, it's the writer. We all know the writer. We all know the artist. A lot of negative space being used in here to tell the story. The story's kind of jumping around. At one point, we're worried about somebody eating a planet, and then Green Lantern quarantined the planet, but apparently that's not prevalent in this book because a bunch of other stuff is going on, and everybody's lost because that's how writers on acid finish stories. As Guardians of the Galaxy, we get away from a trap to fall into another trap. We're on a trap on a planet where we meet up with my lesbian lover, and we got to fight some bad guys. And guess what? All of a sudden, Ego, the planet, is the planet that we're on, and he's pissed. There you go. You don't need the book now. And DC Primal Age. Yep, if you're 5 years old, you're going to love this.
If you're 5 and what?
If you're 5 years old, you're going to love that story.
Okay.
It's actually 6 stories rolled up into one. It's basically a comic book hero story that takes place in medieval time, fictionary medieval times. And they're just weird. They don't make any sense. So should I open this?
That's up to you,
do
man.
it.
Let's do it.
Do it.
Comic Girl Ava said you should open it, so
She doesn't have to open hers.
The dude abides. I need to start drinking White Russians, so that makes sense. All right, I'm going to open this up.
Yeah, I'm sure you're going to make a lot more sense drinking White Russians.
Yeah, I'm going to open it now.
Hey, my best ideas came from being drunk. All right, we're going to be careful with it to some degree.
So
You
were stone cold sober when you agreed to be on this show?
Oh, wow. It's a crap cover. That's not good at all.
Oh, it's Strife.
Put it back in.
That's not as bad as the lopsided Green Lantern head you were just showing.
Comparison's comparison. That's horrible. I should have expected this. It is an X-Men's book.
Which is why it's excellent.
Okay.
Get it?
Okay.
Excellent.
You're gonna find out that's like a 1 in 1,000 variant. It's worth like $800.
My lightning round. Where am I? There I am. Hello. Cemetery Beach, number 6. It's one more book left in this miniseries. You can read this book in less than 5 minutes. A lot of action, not a whole lot of dialogue. A little more dialogue in this book. Looking forward to that to end, so I'm going to finish that up. Walking Dead 188. Again, we've had some stuff happening. Now Rick is kind of questioning the decision because the town is going to crap. Now, did he have to kill Dwight in order to stop that when it's still turning on itself? So now he's questioning himself. They've abandoned the railway project. At least that's what they're doing. The guards pulled back. Eugene is still out there, and they just moved Big Herd right toward Eugene with no protection at all. Young Justice number 2. First one was great. This one took a big step back, and I agree with Caffeinate Comics there. It was really hard for me to get into this book. The first one was awesome. Absolutely loved it. I didn't like this one as much. Oberon. Yes, Drew said kind of a mix between Labyrinth and Beetlejuice. You got to ring the bell 3 times for him to come back. Unicorns with sharp teeth. Yeah, I'm there. Don't get too close to unicorns. Once they get the taste of human flesh, they always want it. That's what he says. Unnatural number 7. So this story started off, more of a love interest on who you can love, who you can't love, turning into more of a supernatural kind of story to it. Ripping arms off, ripping hearts out. That's what she does. She's getting the power of that wolf inside of her. Interesting. Couple of
All
books
up inside of her.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Joe. That cover is probably still better than the Liefeld cover.
Still better than most of the comic book, but who cares?
The Liefeld cover, you can't even figure out how his arms attached to his torso. It's just like, what is this? That's not a deltoid. It's like, Jesus.
What are you talking about? You were talking about his forearms.
Even the entire fucking thing. It's just, there's nothing that's right about it anatomically. It's just so utterly wrong that I can't help but buy it.
Okay. Harley Quinn shoe cover. Picked up that one.
I'll agree with it.
Sorry, Dave. I tried to just make a quick point.
Yeah, Grumble number 3. I got this one. I actually got 2 of these. It won't be in this month's, but it'll be in next month's giveaway. And number 11, the Adam Hughes cover. Just a few of the back issues that I got real quick. Just go over them. Picked up this Detective Comics 578. Nice McFarlane cover. Picked up this just because it was a chill cover. Totally awesome Hulk, even though he's totally useless. Couple of the Blackest Night story arc. Couple of those bad boys. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures. Anybody else read this when they were a kid? This was like, I love this series. It's part of the Archie universe, and that's it for me.
A couple of them.
Yeah, I have the 1 through 4, and I was digging through some back issues at my LCS, and they had those.
And
so
Biggie Shack says, I thought Liefeld couldn't draw feet. No, he's graduated. Now he draws feet, but they're both left.
I'm on the fence about ordering Liefeld's new book that comes out. It's in this month's previews guide. I'm
not in any fucking fence about that. Get that shit away from me.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Liefeld and X-Men, get that out of here.
Okay.
I can't wait for Judge Dredd X. Come on.
Lightning round is over. We're going to talk to Mike if he's got something for us.
Oh, I got something for you.
Oh, yeah, you do. I'm waiting to hear it.
Kylo's acting all fucking batshit crazy back there. Don't
blame the dog.
All right, real quick. Goddamn, it's like 11:30.
I know.
It's all Dave's fault. I can't even talk. The Death of the Family Joker, and they're calling it the Red Wing Robin, but it's actually Red Robin. Well, the Joker will release at Hot Topic the end of February. It looks amazing. And Red Robin will release in March. Both, like I said, both at Hot Topic. The Jim Lee Catwoman GameStop exclusive, February 15th. So real soon. Of course, the big news with the Pokemon, the Bulbasaur's coming. And they're releasing one Pikachu Funko Pop for the next year, every month. And it's like this month, it's like a St. Patrick's Day theme. He's got
St. Patty's Day.
Yes, he's got a pot of gold and everything. You could only get these at PokemonCenter.com. So go check that out. A couple rumors. We are getting Pretty Woman Pops. New line of Ghostbusters. And since we're getting Alex Trebek from Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune, Vanna White, and Pat Sajak. Excuse me. I did pick up a few Funkos this week. Picked up where the fuck is my camera? Tony Bresky from Die Hard.
Nice.
Right there. Picked up, you saw her earlier, Baby from Dirty Dancing. Nobody puts baby
in a corner, baby.
That's right.
Nobody puts half squatch in the corner.
Picked
Keep me out of
up
this.
Johnny.
Keeping
from
you out of
Dirty
corner.
Dancing. This came in the mail the other day. One of the best goalies in the business. Used to play for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now for the Golden Knights. Marc-Andre Fleury.
I hope he dies in a fire. As a Capitals fan, I mean, I'm sure he's a great guy.
Wow.
Got my Marvel collector core box the other day. Inside was this Dark Phoenix rock candy.
That's pretty sweet.
That is pretty sweet.
And Angel from the X-Men.
That's freaking awesome.
In his original costume. All the other contents of that box really fucking sucked ass, but the rock candy really did it for me. I am up to 1,036 Funkos. The road to 2,000 continues.
That's it.
That is it.
You didn't give Dave time enough to eat.
I've not eaten.
As much as I hate Flurry, that pop's actually pretty fucking cool.
How did I know you're eating? Every time he does this segment, you can run off to go shove a couple slices of pie in your mouth or something.
We're not eating pizza. Homemade stew tonight.
Chicky parm, baby.
No chicky parm either. Homemade beef stew.
I'm treating you to chicky parm when we get to Chicago. I'm buying you a big one.
I don't want your chicky parm. I'm
You're
afraid
gonna
of
eat
it.
it. You're gonna eat it. You're gonna like it. Yeah, beef sandwiches.
We're all going to Portillo's.
I'm gonna be a little Portillo when I get home.
Yeah, you are a little Portillo. I don't know if we're going to go over anything like that real quick before we jump. Beefy stew. Yes, that's what it is. And rolly rolls.
Absence.
Yes, on social media, you can catch us all over social media, on Facebook, on Twitter. We are now on Instagram as well, learning that whole software and trying to figure out, I can only do it from my phone. I can't do it from my laptop. I'm like, crap. So, Kick-Ass Stew, Mighty LJ says she's listening. She's always listening.
Mighty LJ, you need to make chicky parm so it can be relevant again.
No. Yeah, so we are on Instagram. I was supposed to do a giveaway tonight. I didn't get stuff set up. I will do a live video or I'll post a video on all our social media on who was the winner for the month of January. I forgot to do it last time. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. My daughter came in and messed me all up. Yes, our Patreon. So get on our Patreon. The book for February is this Adam Hughes book. So if you want a chance to win this Adam Hughes book, go to our Patreon. Link is down below. $1 a month can get you entered into the contest to win this book. Yeah, Jilly threw me off. $3 to give you 3 entries, $2 to give you 2 entries. It's a cool book, dude. It's like a $17 book. I missed out on a dang Adam Hughes Detective Comics 1000. It was sold out by the time I got around there to go check it out. We could definitely go check out our Patreon account.
Was that an online store exclusive?
It was a Frankie's Comics exclusive.
Yeah.
So they had a pretty cool Catwoman cover on there. So definitely go check our Patreon out. Throw us $1. We also beyond our
Make you holler.
Make you holler for $1.
Yeah, pocket change. Walking around
also have the podcast where I take the audio versions for this show, throw it on there, and do a little fancy editing. Edit out Drew, edit out Mike with their F-bomb, and me this week too with their F-bombs. So definitely go check that out. Link is down below here too. Joe's pointing himself. Joe doesn't drop F-bombs.
I can't.
I might edit out yours.
Sorry, I'm a goddamn national fucking treasure. Okay.
Yeah, I'll give you each week. This week
naturally.
This week I'll give you each your own little sound. Okay, how about that?
You start editing out my profanity. The extent of my participation is gonna be like hi, good, bye.
Sweet Jesus,
Yeah,
Paul.
pretty
Go
much.
back and listen to the audio version of last week's podcast.
Yeah. He thought it was funny just to throw a whole bunch of slew of them out there
And
just
look,
for me to edit.
Huey gave me the unfortunate for him bit of information that it actually takes him work to edit out my profanity. So I just let it fly.
Oh, that's
So-
why he said editing a 2-hour show takes 5 hours.
Yeah. Stop. Cut.
When I
move.
spent a half hour talking about big floppy dicks, he's got to do something about it.
Yeah, I do. Okay, so we're out of here. Drew, last minute shout outs for you. Roll.
And shout out to everybody who popped in the chat. Comic Court guys, we're in here. Funk Office hanging out all night, along with Ms. Explained. Love to see you guys up in there. Some new faces in the chat as well. Let's see, who do we have up in here earlier that I didn't recognize? Oh man, I'm gonna forget, and it's gonna make me look terrible. Biggie Shack, make sure you throw that dude a subbed him up, as well as Kingpen Comics. Discovery Bay is always doing a great job for the community shop and everybody else. So shout out to him popping in the chat. Comic Girl Ava and Caffeinated Comic Books. We had some great back and forth tonight. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Everybody who jumped through, JLS, Jason Smith, everybody, man. Funk Off, Double S. Man, we had a great time tonight, and I hope you guys did as well. Jockio, always up in the chat. Shout out to all you guys. Hit up that Patreon, make my pockets jingle. And that's really all I can say about that, man. We want some money. We want to give you some books for it. Maybe I'll give away this fabulous Rob Liefeld next week. If I can't figure out how his shoulders are attached to his pectoral muscles, I might just lose my mind. So this might be up for grabs. We'll see. Thanks for hanging out, and be sure to check out that audio version of the podcast where you can hear how much work Huey is doing, bleeping out all of my fucking nonsense.
Something you can listen to while you're doodling about. Paul?
As always, shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys are the reason we do this. You make it a lot of fun. We love interacting with you. And Paulie's got to work in the morning, so that's all Paulie's got.
Joe?
Hey, thanks for everybody stopping by tonight. Gretzky, Mighty LJ, Comics Mix Explained, Exalted Comics, Biggie Smalls. Hey, guys, thank you all for coming in here and just hanging out with us. It's been really great. If you haven't checked out our Patreon site, definitely give it a shot. We try to give away good books. If you have suggestions, always leave a comment below. Also, if you're going to C2E2, we want to know. We want to meet you and be able to shake hands with you and maybe buy you a drink. I don't know. I'm rich. I do what I want. You want a drink? I'll buy you a drink. Not a problem. Let me know. And we'll figure out what we can do to where we can all meet up. Other than that, guys, appreciate it.
What if I asked for like a 40-year-old Macallan?
What if you ask for what?
A 40-year-old Macallan or something like that.
At no point did I say I'd buy you what you want. I just said I'd get you.
He'll be buying fucking Cuervo and shit.
Whatever about everybody Bud Light. No, I'm joking.
I got you for at least one McKellen. You got to wait until I'm super drunk and I don't care what I'm spending.
So that'll be about 10 minutes after that. No, that'll probably be on the plane. You'll probably
I'll be getting into town sometime around noon on Thursday, so I'm assuming by like 1:30. Give me an hour and a half on the ground.
Okay, yeah.
I don't like drinking in the air. It makes me uneasy. If I die in a plane crash, I want to be able to feel the whole thing.
Mike?
Just shout outs to everyone who wished me a happy birthday this past week on the various forms of social media. Thank you. That's all I got. 43 fucking years old.
You can tell who has to go to work early in the morning. Me and Maggie are like, yeah, thanks everybody. See ya.
Post on all Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And just because Mighty LJ is not always in the chat, she's always watching. She's always lurking about. I know she's out there somewhere.
Dave, can I address something before we sign off?
Yeah, sure.
More than once, surprising number of times tonight, people had said that they were interested in your hat. I think we should make it a Patreon winner. Let's give away your hat.
Maybe not that one.
My hat?
I would say get a new one.
We want Huey. We want half Squatch sweat, half Squatch DNA in the hat.
No. We could probably make that happen. I could probably give it away.
I'm saying, man, we get some Rogue City comic hats. Let's get it done.
I can do that. I can. Steve will say, "Hey, yeah, you pay me money for the hats. I'll send them out." No,
that sounds great. I'll take one.
Take one. Maybe I'll hand some out there. All right. Whether you blast it, stash it, happy reading, and we'll catch you guys next week.